Why the apostles didn't understand Jesus. The 12 apostles left everything to follow Jesus. They walked with him for over 3 years, heard every parable, watched every miracle, sat across the table from him at every meal. And by nearly every measure in the Gospels, they still didn't grasp what he was actually teaching them. Part of the problem was where they kept starting from. The apostles had grown up grounded in the law and the prophets, and they kept trying to fit Jesus into that framework rather than letting him redefine it. When Jesus spoke of the kingdom, they heard a restored Israel. When he spoke of the Son of Man coming in glory, they heard a conquering king. They were reaching for a literal, external fulfillment of the Old Testament, because that was the only lens they had when Jesus was pointing them somewhere entirely spiritual. Jesus named this directly more than once. After feeding the 5,000, when the apostles were still arguing among themselves about bread, he asked them, and when Jesus knew it, he saith unto them, Mark chapter 8, verses 17 and 18, Why reason ye, because ye have no bread? Perceive ye not yet, neither understand? Have ye your heart yet hardened? Having eyes, see ye not? And having ears, hear ye not? And do ye not remember? These were the men who had left their nets, their families, their whole lives to follow him. And he was asking why they still couldn't see past the literal question in front of them to the spiritual point he'd just made. It happened again when he told them plainly that he would suffer, be killed, and rise again. A statement that had no room for a literal, conquering king interpretation. And from Luke chapter 18, verse 34, they understood none of these things, and this saying was hid from them, neither knew they the things which were spoken. The plainest thing Jesus ever said about himself didn't fit the framework they were still holding on to, so it simply didn't sink in. Even after the resurrection, 2 of his followers walked beside him on the road to Emmaus, without recognizing him, still confused about how everything that happened could be true. Jesus' response wasn't gentle. It was blunt in Luke chapter 24, verse 25. O fools, and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Slow to believe not because the prophets hadn't said enough, but because the apostles kept reading those same prophets literally instead of spiritually. And to Philip, one of the 12, after all that time together. Then from John chapter 14, verse 9, Jesus saith unto him, Have I been so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me, Philip? He that hath seen me hath seen the Father, and how sayest thou then, Show us the Father? The apostles weren't distracted or half-hearted followers. They had more direct access to Jesus than any human being who has ever lived since, and they still filtered nearly everything he said through the law they already knew, rather than the spirit he was trying to give them. Proximity wasn't the missing ingredient. A different way of reading was. That different way finally came after Jesus was gone. He told them plainly before he left, and from John chapter 14, verse 26, The Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things, and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. Key word in this verse. Remembrance. It wasn't more time with Jesus in the flesh that finally opened their understanding. It was the Spirit, teaching them to read spiritually what they had only been able to read literally before. And once it came, the same men who couldn't grasp a simple parable became the ones who carried this message to the whole world. So, if you've ever felt like you should understand more by now, like enough years of reading, enough sermons, enough effort should have settled things in your heart that somehow still feel unsettled, take some comfort in the apostles. They had Jesus himself in the flesh every single day for years, and they still kept reaching for the literal answer instead of the spiritual one. Understanding was never just a matter of trying harder or getting closer. It was always a matter of learning to read Jesus' words the way he meant them, in spirit, not in letter. MJI LightWorker, www.stairwaytoheaven.org